And when we speak, we need to be speaking into the microphones, okay?
No. Well,
Well, then I'll go here.
it's somebody let my wife back in.
Yeah.
Well, I'm supposed to be praying for CJ. Thank you. I didn't say this week. It's up. We're going to this. Okay, we're on the way back to one place. Okay, oh yes, that's next month. Is it good? Yeah. It's been a while. It's such a drive to get here. If they hadn't really wanted to teach me. So what's your next year was 13. I played it. This week, the individual. Very good. Very good to see you. Good to see that. It's good. Never late for a meeting, Richard, ever. And not today either.
Yes, I would like to call this meeting of the Moore County Board of Elections to order. And Mr. Kennedy, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now Angela Atkinson will administer the oath to our board members, and we're going to do the Reverend Charles McKnight is our children's oath first. If you want to step over in front of the flags. Yeah, Barbara, come stand with me.
Okay, I'm gonna ask this in a formal question. Do you, Reverend Charles Knight, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, that you will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, that you will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, and that you will well and truly execute the duties of the office of Chair of the Moore County Board of Elections to the best of your knowledge and ability according to law.
Okay, well, ask the other board members and their spouses if they would join them over here in front of the flag.
That's very good. Presidential elections.
Okay, then raise your left hand on the right. And I'll start. Okay. Here's an I'm gonna read this in the form of a question. I say each one of your name. Do you, Richard Ashton, William Case, Craig Kennedy, and Martin Carpenter solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, that you will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, that you will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, and that you will well and truly execute the duties of the office of member of the Moore County Board of Elections to the best of your knowledge and ability according to law, so help you God. Okay.
We will take a brief recess so that you may greet the new members.
Congratulations, sir.
Okay, Reverend McKnight, you go ahead and call the meeting back to order.
Yes. We'll now call the meeting back to order. And I believe one of the first items on the agenda today is to select the secretary for the Moore County Board of Elections. I'm sorry.
Yes, and I'd like to be heard on that, Reverend. So, I would like to nominate our very fine member, Mr. Richard Ashton, to serve as secretary.
All right.
I'll second
That's the second. Third. And third. All right, it's been second. You've heard the question, you prepared to vote.
that. Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Then it is so moved that Richard Ashton will be the secretary for the Moore County Board of Elections. It's all right to give him a little hand clap if you want. And Director Clendon, this is a time for public comment. And
Yes, sir, and I don't believe anyone signed up to speak. Does anyone wish to
anybody
address the board?
sign up? Okay.
Okay,
Well, if not, we have already selected our secretary. Next is setting dates for July and August.
and Mr. Chair,
Yes, please.
we have several obligations fairly early on. And one is to set the one-stop plan for the Southern Pines primary. And then we also need to adopt a plan for the November election. We have training by the state board, which is required of board members. And you'll see in your packet information about everybody has to register. Now, it has been suggested that we come together as a group on the first day of the conference, which is the only day y'all are mandatorily required to attend. So if you have to be away, then you'll have to do it virtually on your own, but we'll have to register you differently. So if you'll let us know whether or not you can come and be with us in the training building on that August the 7th date. And just let us know after the meeting, check your calendar, which you'll see will be from 8:30 to 5 that day. And then the next 2 days is geared more to the staff, so you won't have to be there. You can be there if you'd like to. We'd love to have you. But it's good to be together in case we have questions come up. We can discuss what they're, sometimes they talk a little bit over our head, but we'll be happy to greet you. And I'll try to cook for you if you come. But you'll see the agenda there. And I have to begin the advertisement for the primary in about 2.5 weeks. And since we only have the pilot published on Sunday and Wednesday, I have to start much earlier, as you can imagine, to make sure I'm meeting my obligations of having it advertised once a week for 3 weeks before the books close. And in that advertisement, we need to tell them what the one-stop location will be and the hours and days. So, Mr. Chairman, I would like to entertain that if the board is available on July the 19th, might be a good time for us to get together.
It is brought to the floor that July 19th might be,
And I'm sorry, that's not July 19th.
I'm sorry,
That's August 19th. I'm
August
sorry.
19th, I thought that it is.
I'm backing up here.
I-
Yes.
I'm not gonna be here then, so just to let you know, we're out there to get a trip planned to Hawaii.
That's good publicity. So August 19th is the date that has been brought to the floor. Would somebody like to make a motion that we accept that date?
It's okay with me. Man, is it all right? As long as we have a quorum, right?
Just have a quorum, yes, sir.
Well, okay, all right. I'll move that we have August 19th as the date for the one-stop meeting.
Well, it is a new vote. Okay, we have a second on here. Do that. You heard the question, you prepared to vote about your question. You heard the vote, are you prepared? You heard the motion, you prepared to vote.
Yes.
All right, then so ordered. We will have that meeting on the 19th.
What time will that be? Do we know yet?
It's at your discretion. And let me double check that deadline to do the pilot, okay? Because the statute said we gotta meet on the 17th also to appoint precinct officials. So we need to not come twice if we can do it all on the 17th. And that will be a rather lengthy meeting as we go through appointing all the officials for the precincts.
This is August 17th.
That's August 17th required by statute that you meet that day. So we may have to adjust that date, Reverend. And we can just set those dates, I think, by consent. In your package in color, you'll see the calendar for the town of Southern Pines primary. And then you'll see what the turnout has been in the past. Southern Pines is our only municipality that has a nonpartisan election with a primary. And you see at one stop in 2017, we had a total of only 97 people vote early. And you see the results also there. And an hour by hour account of when the people came to vote. So just study that before that meeting, so you'll kind of be familiar with, it's an extremely low turnout, as you can imagine. And then for our 2 new board members, we would like to tour the county with you so you can get familiar with all the voting places. The state requires that we have those places inspected, and a staff member, Ann Brown, has already been with the ADA compliance officer from the county, and they have visited every place to make sure that everything is compliant. We sometimes have to tell them over the Sandy Hills Gardens to go in there and cut the trees because they'll have grown and fallen down in the pathway. And until I had the stroke, I did not realize how aggravating it was to try to get through a tree or bushes. So, but they have visited every place, and they have completed the ADA requirements, completing that survey. But we want the board to know where everything is, and if any of our returning board members want to go on that trip, you're more than welcome. Just let us know. But we will just coordinate the meeting between Mr. Carpenter and Reverend McKnight. It'll be good for y'all to ride. And we don't have to go the entire county, but I recommend that you do, because we're gonna get into December and then we'll be into that primary in March. And it's much better to go ahead and get y'all situated as to where all the voting places are.
I would certainly like to go.
Yes,
I'd like to do the entire county.
Yes.
okay, good.
What's the
Any
date?
returning members want to go on that trip?
And that date is
We'll,
going to be
we'll
announced.
coordinate with the 2 of y'all when it's best to do that.
We haven't added any new polling sites. have we?
We have not. We'll review those voting places, and Ann will with you also. We moved into the Pinecrest cafeteria for the election last fall, and because of COVID. And the schools now are always going to give us a virtual day and not have students on campus on election days, which is great. Because, you know, they learned that we could do the virtual training and it works. So we're pleased with that. You will have in your packet some information about the limitation of political activities, social media from the state. I'll also have a county policy of what it says about social media, because it came to our attention last year that as board members, you also come under the county policy. And it's as sad as it is, about every couple of months, we've got a board member brought up on charges before the state board because of social media activities. So people watch you. I don't do Facebook simply because I've always been discouraged from doing it. So also you'll find in your packet a memo from the FBI, Federal Prosecutor's Director, concerning threats to election officials. And so know that the FBI is taking it very seriously for anybody to make a threat. And should anybody make a threat or make any partisan threats against you, you should report it to us, and it will be going to the FBI. People cannot threaten you as a board member or any of our staff members or any of our workers. So they are very concerned in elections going forward about threats to those people conducting the elections. You also have in your packet an organizational chart which shows that we answer to the people, and then your political parties have recommended you. As a director of the Board of Elections, I answer to you, but I also answer to the state board director. So I have 2 bosses that I have to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And so if you'll study that chart, our only connection with the county is that we are required to go by their policies and the state and the county board of commissioners are required to fund us. That's where it is, but none of the elected commissioners can tell the board of elections what to do. We are removed from that. And they are required to fund us. And then we use those funds as per the guidelines of purchasing and everything else. So, and I have to say that the state has been wonderful to support. I mean, the county has been wonderful to support us in everything we do. Also, we will need to set a buffer zone for each of the election, which the state says we've got to be 50 feet from the entrance to any voting place is the closest that electioneering can take place. And so we'll be doing that. I'll send you an old buffer zone so you can look at it and see if we need to update anything. And then we have to send that out and post it for the public to know where they can and cannot do the electioneering. And I guess that's our biggest complaint at One Stop Voting is electioneering. And they keep us busy, don't they, Richard, with electioneering issues, so. We have to, once again, we've got to ensure that the public can walk into that voting place without feeling threatened by different things. And Mr. Chair, I think that is all we need to talk about right now. And I will confirm that date of publication before we leave. Do you want to go ahead and set the time on the August 17th, since that's by statute that we have to meet on the 17th? There is not a statutory time. It's at your convenience.
Well, I would certainly like to always accommodate what is most convenient for the city. And so my question would be, do you think it would be more advantageous for you to meet before or after 12? This is just a discussion.
I'm good. Either one. Probably if I had not, I'd say 1 o'clock afternoon. If y'all want to do after lunch, would be fine. But I'm pretty free.
Okay. Is there anyone that has an obligation that would preclude them from being able to do it at this time?
Not on my trip.
Uh,
Not on the 17th. Are we talking about generally throughout the year?
Well, we're talking about this one event
That's
on the
fine.
17th. Okay. If everybody's in agreement, just raise your hand. That'll be sufficient. All right. Okay. So 1 p.m. on the 17th.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I'll get that advertised.
I think you said it was a possibility of working both the 19th and the 17th.
Yes, sir. If that, fits with y'all, we will have to come with just once to do that meeting. And I will, before y'all leave today, I will tell you what that advertised date is.
So that's the.
Yeah.
the term.
And if we need to do a separate advertisement, it will be fine. I can do a separate advertisement on One Stop if I need to, so.
Okay, you said we could, you said 1 and 2 was pretty comprehensive.
1 o'clock will be fine. But if we can do both meetings together, we'll do it
Okay,
together.
that would be better.
And I believe that's all I have, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
I've not been here before. I don't know how we normally close. But my question would be, is anyone a franchise closes with a prayer?
Before we do that,
Yes.
I would have one quick resolution that I think is appropriate. I know it's not on the agenda, but I would like to move a resolution of appreciation for the services of the 2 board members who left us, Susan Adams and Elizabeth Mangrum. They both worked very hard for the county and for the Board of Elections, and I think their services should be recognized by this board.
That's a motion, I second.
That is the motion. That has been seconded. And it's been properly seconded. Are you ready for the vote? All right, all in favor, please raise your hand. And so, I don't know how we normally close the United States. But my question was, does anyone object to us closing?
No,
Is that allowed?
that's the question. Yes, is Linda.
I'm sorry, excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. I just said that. The plan for the one stop is actually due on August 12th. So we will have to be in 2 separate meetings, and it'll have to be before the 12th of August. So if y'all want to check your calendars.
Well, now I'm back on schedule.
We'll get you in a meeting before you go on vacation.
Yeah, before I go.
And that coming up, it would be great if y'all are gonna be away for an extended period of time, that you could let us know you're gonna be out of touch for those certain days. The board can meet without one member or 2 members on certain things, on this type of thing. Now, when we get to absentee meetings, sometimes we have to make sure that both political parties are here. But in general, our normal business could be conducted by 3 people.
Can we do everything on the 12th, the one stop and all on the 12th now?
I think we could. We can't do the appointment because the political parties don't have their list due to us yet, so we'll have to do one stop.
So I cannot be here on the 12th through the 14th.
I'm getting confused on dates here myself for a week.
Okay, so, excuse me, so we get some clarity. We have to do was, which of the 2 events? One was the 17th. We're talking about doing both. Do we need to reopen this and, because we have new information that we did not have before. And even though we probably made a motion and we passed everything, there is a conflict that we're going to be ineffective. We can't do this over 12. So, but I understand it. So this has to be done on the 12th or earlier?
Prior to the 12th, yes, it's due
Prior
to
to
the
the
state by the 12th.
When are you leaving?
Actually, probably the afternoon of the 11th. I could do it anytime from the 3rd to the 10th in the morning, or 11th in the morning. I'm good on the 10th, if we could do the 10th.
Well, I was supposed to say, since we're already on a Tuesday for the 17th, you want to do the 10th.
Okay, I just want to, we do our business, but at the same time, we have a heart in our business. And we'd like for people to be present. Now, is it a consensus that everyone can be present on the 10th? Yes. Everyone can be present on the 10th. Is it also a consensus that 1 o'clock on the 10th would not be a problem?
Yes.
Okay. If someone would make a motion that because of the circumstances, we will not have the meeting on the 17th, but we're making a motion to have the meeting based on the information that's just come in on the 10th instead. Someone else. I'm sorry.
Is the meeting on the 17th, it's statutory.
That's correct.
So we would still have to have a meeting.
Oh, so we're gonna have 2 meetings. I was thinking we're gonna have both the same. Okay, then that's fine.
Well, before we vote, is there also a meeting on the 19th then?
No.
We talked about that.
I don't think so, Bill.
No, and tell me, I need clarity. Okay, we were trying to merge the meetings. There was one that was initially on the 19th and 17th. And we're gonna make that one meeting starting at 1 o'clock. So now, because of the new information, thank you for giving us the information. We're talking about that 1 day meeting. If we do this meeting on the 10th, it's not going to be possible to do both. Is that correct? Madam Director?
That is correct.
So we're going to have 2 meetings, and the meeting on the 10th, which is a Tuesday, will be the meeting at 1 o'clock. Is that correct, Madam Director?
That is correct, yes, sir.
Okay. Well, if that would be duly noted, I would appreciate it.
And we would still have the meeting on the 17th.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, the meeting on the 10th is going to be 1 o'clock. Do we have a specific day? We're going to have both meetings at 1.
I think that was,
Okay.
yes.
What we were going to do is.
We were going to have it on the 17th at 1. We're still going to do that. Okay. And now we're going to have the meeting on the 10th also.
Correct.
And so the 17th is for appointment of election workers. And then the 10th is going to be the one stop. And what's required by the 12th, we're going to do it on the 10th. Okay.
So we'll be within that. Is there anything else that needs to claim my attention today? Is there
I
anything?
think that's good.
Okay, now, my question was, I don't know how we normally adjourn. And if anybody does have an objection to it, it's not a problem with me. But my question was, does anyone have an objection to adjourning the prayer?
No.
Then let us pray. Precious and eternal God, Lord, we thank you for allowing us to come today together in one place. I thank you, dear God, for the sharing of ideas without controversy, the sharing of ideas in peace and love. I pray, dear God, that you will empower us to do the work of the people that we represent. And, oh dear God, we thank you for our director. We thank you for each member, and we pray that going forward, oh dear God, that we all can together make a difference that you would have us make in the county called Lord. This is my prayer, I pray.
Amen.
Now make the Lord please.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been properly motioned to adjourn, and we can now get out of here. Amen. To God be the glory.